YouTube family, welcome back. Welcome back. Happy New Year, new me. So I have something exciting for you guys. Now, you guys know in my previous life, y'all was there with me when my credit was all screwed up and I had to find a way to patch it all together. And I have some secret tips with you guys. And guys, I want to introduce you to somebody who is a credit guru, a credit hero, whatever you need to know to bring your credit up, what you need to pay, don't need to pay, how to save money, how to get your dream house, whether it's your dream car, the ins and out of all the credit world. I'm going to introduce to you. Ta-da! Hi, you. Introduce yourself to everybody and let everybody know where you're from and what you're about.
All right, thank you, man. With an introduction like that, you got me blushing over here. Let me get my cheeks back. All right, cool. So what's going on, guys? My name is Daraine Delevante. I'm famously known as the Credit Hero on Instagram. And what I do is I teach people how to repair, rebuild, restore their own credit using consumer law. So I don't study the regular stuff that everybody else in credit does. I specialize in consumer law. So using consumer law, I am literally able to teach anyone how to delete any single account from their credit. It doesn't matter if it's a positive account or a negative account. I can show you the laws that are put in place that you can use to get those items deleted.
Yeah. That's where people get a lot of things confused. Is people think that these hospital bills and these student loans that they have to like pay it off. No, you guys, there's ways to get that shit off. Because I sure as hell did not pay some things now that I got stuck with. Okay, and I still got myself into this house. And you know, when you buy a house, you need a good credit score. And I think I bought this house. My credit score was like an 800. So I got really low interest rate. Which is really important, people. Like when you're buying stuff and you're not paying cash out, you need that credit. The higher your credit score is, the lower your interest rate is. Can you believe my house in Atlanta? My interest rate was 12%. Ooh. Oh, it was so high. It was so high that every time that I paid my mortgage, only $300 went towards the interest to the principal. And now here, my interest rate is only 2%. So majority of my mortgage is towards my house.
I'm gonna give you a hack that a lot of people don't know. The first 6 years of your mortgage, very little goes to principal. Most of it goes towards interest. Have you noticed that when it comes to the 5 to 7 year mark, those loan officers call you and want you to refinance? When they call you to refinance, it resets the mortgage. So majority of the payments you're making goes towards interest and not principal. That's why they want people to refinance. They don't tell you all this on the back end, but that's why every 5 to 7 years, they want people to refinance their homes. They're giving it under the illusion, we're going to give you a lower interest rate. Yeah, they're going to give you a lower interest rate, but over the life of the mortgage, you're paying more to interest than to principal.
Sorry, my dog's fucking crazy.
It's all good.
All right. So, well, what else? So what do you open up saying? What was the word? Credit law for what is it?
Consumer law.
Consumer law. What is consumer law?
So consumer laws are federal laws that are put in place to protect consumers. And using consumer laws now to protect us, you're able to control what gets reported on the credit report. So let me give you an example. A lot of people think that late payments exist, right?
Right.
And like, what if I can prove 4 things before we get off of this call right now? I can prove 4 things to you. I'm going to prove more, but there's 4 key things I'm going to prove to you. And if I don't, I need you to let me know so I can send you some money. So I want to prove to you that a late payment don't exist. Before we finish this conversation, I'll show you why a late payment doesn't exist. I'm going to show you also that you control what gets reported on the consumer report. And you know, when they say you max out your credit cards and there's utilizations, on your consumer report, I'm going to show you also why a utilization don't exist.
Okay.
And the 4th thing I'm going to show you is how combined, not where people don't know consumer law, I'm going to show you guys how they are losing 357.5 points on their credit because they don't know consumer law. So I'm going to prove 4 things to you.
Okay.
So I like to be a man of my word and a man of action, so I can show y'all better than I can tell y'all.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. You have a PowerPoint for us?
All right. So not even the PowerPoint. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna go straight to the law. See, with a PowerPoint, anybody can make a PowerPoint, but you see, when we go to their government websites, it gives us exactly the information that we need. So right now we're going to 15 USC 1681, which is called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act is the laws that govern items that get reported to your credit. And it also governs the consumer reporting agencies, right? A lot of people call them credit bureaus. Well, I'm here to let them know that credit bureaus don't exist. So I'm going to show you guys also that there's no such thing as a credit bureau. And the reason why I want to make these points clear, so late payments don't exist, utilizations don't exist. There's a difference between your FICO, the FICO algorithm, and your consumer report, and that credit bureaus don't exist. So those are the 4 points I'm going to prove to you. So I'm going to modify it because those are important stuff that people need to know going into the new year. Once you know this stuff, you will comprehend that you don't have to pay debt collections, that medical collections under $500 shouldn't be on your credit report, and many more things. But let's start with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And I want us to go to 15 USC. So everybody that is hearing the sound of my voice right now, follow me, because I want to let you know that this is stuff you can look up for yourself. So we're going to go to 15 USC 1681A under definition, rules, and construct. Mimi, let me know if you're seeing the screen. You should be
Yeah, I
seeing
can see everything.
Okay, perfect. So you see all the sources where the information is coming from, and Daraine is making anything up. So when we go down to 15 USC 1681, and then we go to number 2, the exclusions. Mimi, if someone was to say exclusion or excluded, what would that mean? If someone says you're excluded, what does that mean?
You're not in it.
You're not in it, right?
Yeah.
Not a part of it. So this is what the law is saying. Exclusions, except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include. Now, if Congress is telling you that your consumer report does not include what I'm about to read, doesn't that mean it's not supposed to be a part of it?
Right.
All right. So when we go down to A1, right, Congress says this: report containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report. Now, this might have went over some people's heads, so I'm gonna bring it back. Exclusions, except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include report containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report. Now, some of you might be saying, Daraine, what does this mean? Let's comprehend now the definition of what the consumer report means, because once we know what the definitions are, now we know how to govern ourselves. So when we go to consumer report, this is what the definition of your consumer report means. In general, the term consumer report means any written, oral, or other communication of any information by a consumer reporting agency. This word right here, consumer reporting agency. You notice they didn't say credit bureaus?
Ah.
So this is where now we need to comprehend the name that Congress gives them. They are not credit bureaus. They are consumer reporting agencies. When we address them the way that they are named, they have to respond. So I'm not sure if you've ever done a dispute by yourself and you send a letter, or anyone in your audience sends a letter and they never got a response because they're directing them to credit bureaus. There's no such thing as a credit bureau. We need to direct those correspondences, those letters, to consumer reporting agencies.
Okay.
Right? So information by a consumer reporting agency bearing on a consumer's credit worthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, character, general reputation, personal characteristics, or mode of living, which is used or expected to be used or collected in whole or in part for the purposes of serving as a factor in establishing the consumer's eligibility for A, credit or insurance to be used primarily for personal, household purposes, B, employment purposes, C, any other purpose authorized under section 1681B. Now, let me ask you a question, Mimi. You're an extremely smart woman. Did anywhere in the definition of your consumer report, did it say FICO or Vantage?
No.
Okay, but people think that the fact, because you've heard of a FICO score, right? That's what the banks do. So when the banks was pulling your credit, they pulled your mortgage score, your FICO mortgage score. That's what they pulled to see if you're eligible or what interest rate they're going to give you for your home loan. So when we comprehend that the FICO score and your consumer reports are different, you now are able to control what gets reported. You see, the factors that make up FICO, the payment history, the utilization, the length of credit history, the new credit, and the mixture of credit. Those 5 factors of FICO are not factors on your consumer report. Once we separate the two, we know now that the FICO and the consumer report are independent of each other. Meaning, a FICO score for Mimi cannot exist without Mimi's consumer report. So if your consumer report is not used in FICO's algorithm, there will not be a credit score for you. So when we know now what factors of FICO's are and what your consumer report is, well, right here under number 2, it says that except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include reports containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer. Well, who's the consumer? It means an individual, you or me. But it has another word. It says person. Now, if I was to ask you, Mimi, what does the word person mean? What would you give me? And don't, there's no wrong answers here. But what do you think the definition of a person means?
Somebody else?
What if I was supposed to tell you that the word person also means a corporation, like Wells Fargo?
Yes, like a business.
Correct. So the term person means any individual, that is you and me, flesh and blood, right? Partnership, cooperation. Well, your Wells Fargo, your Bank of America, your Truist, all of those banks are corporations. So let's say you got a line of credit from American Express. We know that it's a corporation, or Wells Fargo, or Bank of America. You see, except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include reports containing information as to transactions, Mimi. So your payment history, isn't that your transaction history? So if your transaction history is not included on your consumer report, where does a late payment come from?
Where?
It doesn't exist. It's a factor of FICO. People believe that a FICO is their credit. FICO is not your credit.
So are you saying this like from a credit card? Like, so if a credit card, you know, they say you're late on a payment, there's no such thing as that?
No. Whether you're late in their system, that's in their system. But when it comes to your consumer report, transactions and experiences are excluded from your consumer report. This is how, so I did a challenge. I did a online 5-day webinar last week. And in that webinar, we got close to 50 late payments deleted using this section of the law. Your transactions, and this is why we have to know what the definitions are. You see, the people that don't know this information, the banks and corporations that know it use it against them. And this is
Right.
why we've led to believe that FICO and your credit is the same thing. They are not. A late payment is a factor of FICO.
Right.
Factors of FICO are not factors of your consumer report. It's two different things. FICO is a profit corporation. It means Fair Isaacs Corporation. It's a business. They use that business model and algorithm to produce a risk score for consumers.
Okay.
So when we separate the two now, we now know that there is no such thing as a late payment on your consumer report because factors of FICO does not affect your consumer report. It only exists if we let it exist. And 9 times out of 10, the people that don't know the things that they don't know, the people that do know use the things that they don't know against them.
Right. Okay. Okay. So are you telling me people can do this on their own or not?
Say again?
Are you telling me people can do this on their own?
Absolutely. That's what I teach.
Yeah,
Like
you teach people how to do this on their own?
So my whole business is based on this. If you give a man a fish, he eats for the day. Right. When you teach a man how to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. I believe in teaching people how to fish. So when you learn this stuff, I shouldn't see you again. Mm-hmm. You should go and be the credit hero for, that's why I took the name. Like, you are supposed to learn what I'm teaching you, go be the credit hero for your family, go get those lines of credit, delete those late payments, delete those derogatories, delete every single thing from your family so y'all can be in a position to have the power to purchase, to get a new home, to get a new car.
Right.
Right?
Got it. All right. So tell me this. So you teach the class also. Mm-hmm. So it's either you teach the class and you help people remove all of their stuff on the credit because you know the ins and out. So you can teach them to, do it for their own family. So it's either that or you can also help them, right? Like, say for instance, me, like, I hate school. I don't want to learn. Like this, I don't want to learn. This is not my thing. But I want you to do it for me. Like, I want you to do the work and get in here and remove the stuff for me. That's also an option, right?
Well, in my current business model, no, but I am in the process. The company's not created yet. I am making a new company for that specific purpose. I've been asked so many times, and it's like, all right, bro, just do it. So I'm in the process of creating that company. It's not. That company isn't yet created, but I'm getting the paperwork and stuff done, filing the LLC documentation, and getting that done.
Oh, okay. So today we are really focusing on, like, if you guys are trying to make extra income, people who this is school. So basically today we are learning about your class, sir, teacher.
Yeah, they're learning about their own reports. Yeah, they're learning about the things on their credit because 2020 hit a lot of people. A lot of people got hit in 2020 and 2021. And having these late payments and all of these things, especially for student loans, a lot of people got hit with late payments for student loans and mortgages. But people don't know that you can delete student loans. We deleted 300 last week. You can delete mortgages. We deleted about 10 mortgages from the consumer report. Open auto loans, right? You can delete open auto loans. Like everything you can, like everything
I've had,
that is holding a person back.
I've had my auto loan deleted. Now I want to know, is it permanent or is it temporarily?
It's permanent, right? And if it does come back, there's laws in place to protect the consumer as well. So sometimes these shady companies, when it gets deleted, they will put it back on thinking that, oh, they're not going to catch it. But let me tell you something. Did you know that you have the power to tell a corporation to report an account on your credit or not?
Explain.
Okay. If you don't want something reported, that item cannot be reported.
Right.
All right. So let me show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah, because I'm like, what you mean? They can't look the way they be hitting me with bills that I didn't pay. What you mean they can't report what I tell them not to report?
All right. So 15 USC 6802. But let me go to 6801 first. See, Mimi, we have been lied to. Everything we thought we knew about credit is wrong. Your information is supposed to be protected. It's not supposed to be shared. There's laws put in place for this. So let me break this down. So 15 USC 6801, protection of non-public personal information. Privacy obligation policy. It is the policy of the Congress that each financial institution has an affirmative and continuing obligation. So they have an obligation to the consumers, right? They have a continuing obligation to respect the privacy of its customers and to protect the security and confidentiality of those consumers or customers' non-public personal information. Now, Mimi, if the law says these corporations have an obligation to respect your privacy and to protect the security and confidentiality of your non-public personal information, do you really think that they can just report whatever they want to report?
Oh, well, I didn't know that. I thought they can just report it.
That is why we have been lied to. We were fed a lie that corporations can report anything to your credit. That is a lie. That is not true. What does confidentiality mean? If they say something is confidential, what does that mean?
It's personal.
It cannot be shared.
Right.
So if the law says there is a security and confidentiality and a respect for privacy, how can a corporation just report your information if they feel like it? That is a violation of the law. This section, this is how we get student loans deleted. This is how we get mortgage deleted. But let me give you another peek at the other part that we add when we're deleting student loans. See, remember, 6801 says there needs to be a respect for your non-public personal information, right? So when we go to 6802, which is the next section over, guess what it says? Obligations with respect to disclosures of personal information. So this section now tells you, it's going to give you the disclosure. So you're supposed to get 3 disclosures before any of your information gets reported. And if you don't get these disclosures, your information cannot be reported. All right. So the first thing Congress says is this: except as otherwise provided in the subchapter, a financial institution may not directly or through any affiliate disclose to a non-affiliated third party any non-personal information unless such financial institution provides or has provided the consumer a notice that complies with section 6803. Now, a lot of people will look at this and say, Daraine, I don't know what that means. Okay. Have you ever heard of Truist Bank?
What bank?
Truist. Truist.
Truist. Yes. I saw
Okay,
here.
so Truist Bank owns SunTrust and Lightstream. Those are they are owned by what's the word I'm looking for? Affiliate ownership, or I don't want to, common ownership, right? There we go. So they are owned by common ownership. Truist, SunTrust, Lightstream, they're common ownership. Now, so they are affiliated by common interest. They own each other, or one company owns all of them. So they're free to share information amongst each other. Now, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, these are non-affiliated third parties, meaning that Truist or Lightstream or SunTrust, they don't own none of these banks. or they don't own Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So with that being said, now, before a company like Truist or Bank of America that has no common interest or ownership of Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, before your information gets reported, Mimi, these are the things that they must give you. And I'm going to ask you about this when you bought your car. And I'm willing to bet right now that you did not get 2 of the 3 disclosures. So a consumer has the right to opt out. Did you know that a consumer can opt out of having their information reported?
Really? Like, so say I finance the car and I don't want them to report it. How the hell am I gonna get the car?
The reporting of a car does not stop you from getting the car.
Okay. All right. So if my credit, match like is high enough for me to qualify to get the car, I can still get it, but they don't have to turn it into the credit bureau. I mean, the credit agency.
Correct. So let me break that down some more. A financial institution may not disclose non-public personal information to a non-affiliated third party unless. What this means is you pull up to the car dealership, you bought a car, right?
Yes.
You're supposed to get 3 disclosures, 3. And the first disclosure they're supposed to give you is that, hey, we might report your information to the consumer reporting agency. So that's what A is saying. A says such financial institution clearly and conspicuously discloses to the consumer in writing or in electronic forum or other form permitted by the regulation prescribed under section 6804 that such information may be disclosed to such third party. What that simply means is the first disclosure is, hey, Mimi, we're going to report your information to the consumer reporting agencies. So we're letting you know, so acknowledge that you got this disclosure. That's one. The second one you're supposed to get is that the consumer is given the opportunity before the time that such information is initially disclosed to direct that such information not be disclosed to such third party. So the second disclosure you're supposed to get is that, all right, hey, Mimi, we're going to disclose your information to the consumer reporting agencies. But if you decide that you don't want this information reported, then you have that right as well. That's number 2. And then the third disclosure is that if you say, no, I don't want the information reported, C says the consumer is given an explanation of how the consumer can exercise that non-disclosure option. So if you decide that, no, you don't want the information reported, they need to tell you now what you need to do not to have the information reported. So going back to your car, you buying a car is you buying a car. The information being reported is optional, and it is only reported when you give the permission for it to happen.
Well, we learn something new every day because I didn't know that was even a choice.
There's a choice.
But
loans.
Okay, so that means if your credit is good, like, say for instance, because a lot of times we do allow people to report it because we want to boost our credit score, right? So is the opt-out option only for is it only for people who don't want to report it?
So the opt-out option is for you and what your credit goals are. Different people have different goals for their credit, right? So if you have items on your reported negatively, you don't want those on there. So now you have the right to opt out of it. You have the right to get those deleted. But let's say you're building, right? Everything is good, they're all positive. Then nothing's wrong with having them reported. But when it is not in your best interest, meaning that there's negative items on there that's lowering the credit score and that is causing you from achieving the home, the car, right? When there's items on there that is negatively affecting you, you as the consumer have a right to take those off.
Okay, I didn't know that. Because they say, for instance, like my cousin, she just bought a house, right? And her credit score is looking good. But you know how they have like your debt to like
Income.
income rate ratio.
Correct.
So like she had that car on there. So you're telling me that she could have just opted out on that being on the report. She could have taken that
100%.
out instead of her having to pay full cash for the car completely to get it removed.
100%.
Oh wow. See, so she didn't even have to spend that money. She
Nope.
ended up actually paying the car off to get it off of the credit. But now,
Wow. I
I'm
wish we would have
finding
had this
out from you
conversation.
that she could have opted out.
I wish we could have had this conversation before she did it. She could have
Oh yeah.
saved all that bread.
Oh yeah.
You control the credit. The corporations, the banks do not control the credit. You control it. So it sounds like it was a pretty expensive car.
Yeah, it was a BMW 7 Series.
Yeah, she could have saved all that bread.
Right.
Damn.
Well, we didn't know that. I never knew that. I've talked to a lot of credit people. I've done a lot of credit things, but they were just getting my stuff done for me. It's not like I learned anything. Like what you're showing right now is a teaching of a lot of legal information that I never heard of. So I never even knew that that was a choice.
And this is why I use the business model that I use. So now going forward, can you imagine now how much of an expert you will be when your friends talk to you about, yo, Mimi, I'm going to get a house, I'm going to get a car, but then something pops up on their credit. And you now know that there's laws in place that they can use to delete the stuff, how you can then show them these things or let them know where to find it. And it could save them thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I see. Who's gonna be the good one of the family?
Like become the credit hero for all your friends.
Oh.
So I'm gonna give you 2 more gems before we go, right? Collections. Did you know that if a collection account, first of all, I'm gonna let everybody that's watching this know right now, you don't have to pay collections. And a lot of people are going to say, Daraine, I've heard that before. Well, you've heard it before, but the people that told you about it don't know where it comes from. The law says a consumer does not have to pay a debt collector. 1692. So I'm going to prove to you right now, Mimi, that a consumer does not have to pay a debt collector. And this is written in their laws. So we're on the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, 15 USC 1692 CC. And this section is called ceasing communication. And in this section of the law, listen to what Congress says. If a consumer notifies a debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt, or that the consumer wishes that the debt collector to cease further communication with the consumer, the debt collector shall not communicate further with the consumer with respect to such debt. And then they list the 3 things that the debt collector can say to rebut, but it's only to, 1, advise that the consumer that they're going to stop all the efforts. 2 is to notify the consumer that the debt collector or creditor may invoke specified remedies, or 3, that they're going to do the specified remedies that they spoke about. Now, let me break those down. Anyone listening to this right now, if you are being called or harassed by debt collectors, you do not have to pay debt collectors. The law says a consumer can notify a debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay. And if you do that, there's only 3 responses a debt collector can respond to you. The first one is to advise the consumer that the debt collector's further efforts are being terminated. They're not going to call you anymore. The second is to notify the consumer that the debt collector or creditor may invoke specified remedies. And what this means is, all right, so you refuse to pay the debt, okay, we're going to take it to court, or we're going to do legal action. That's what that part means. And number 3 is saying that, okay, we are going to take you to court. So they can say, we're going to take you to court. But then number 3 says, we're taking you to court. There can only be 3 responses. And without those 3 responses, or one of those 3 responses, it is a violation if they give you any other response.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So when you refuse to pay, they can only say, okay, I'm going to leave you alone. But where does it go? And then if they take us to court, what happens in court?
So when it comes to court now, this is where you defending yourself. See, there's a maxim law called volunteer non fit injurer, right? And man, I'm giving you all the gems tonight. Shit, you asking some good questions, baby. So volunteer non-fit injurer. This is a defense that you can use. And we're going to go straight to Cornell law. See, volunteer non-fit injurer is a Latin for to a willing person, it is not a wrong, right? This legal maxim holds that a person who knowingly and voluntarily risks danger cannot recover any resulting injury. So, Mimi, if a debt collector buys a pool of bad debt, uncollectible bad debt, they don't have the right to go to court to call injury because—
Wait, are you telling me they buy these debts?
Yes.
Wait, so so there, okay, what I just learned is there's no credit bureau. These people, debt collecting agency, they collect people debts and try to get people to pay them so that they can profit off of those money.
Correct.
Because let's say sometimes a lot of people don't have it to pay. I mean, that's why they're in the collection. So they buy these debts in hopes of retrieving it. So what, like, it's like buying a used car or something. They're buying these used cars, which is the
big
debt
business
that they're collecting.
Debt buying is a multi-billion-dollar business.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But let me give you
there is
another
no
example.
credit bureau. It's debt. People buying this as a hustle in hopes that you're going to pay off your debt. So basically, when you go to court, you know, they're going to be like, oh, you need to pay this, but you're like, oh, I'm already broke, so I don't know what the hell you think you're going to get from me.
Well, I wouldn't say it that way. How I would say it, and this is in no way, shape, or form legal advice, but what I would say is volunteer non-fit injurer. To a willing person, it is not a wrong. This maxim law holds true. A debt collector, so let's use, for example, LV&V funding. They're a debt collector, right? You knowingly bought bad debt, knowing that there's a high percent of default on these alleged debt. You cannot cry injury because you cannot collect. The maxim law holds true. So it's like saying, all right, I'm gonna run across the road, but I don't expect to get hit by a car. If I run across a highway and I get hit by a car, I cannot sue the person who hit me. The highway is the highway. You shouldn't be on there. What are you doing on the highway? So to a willing person, it is not a wrong. It's like boxing. In boxing, you know you're gonna get punched in the face, right? So if Floyd Mayweather does his thing with Ultra Instinct and he dodges all of your punches and then he hits you in the nose and breaks your nose, you cannot sue him. You signed up to be a boxer. And one of the rules are in boxing, you're going to get hit. So to a willing person, it is not a wrong. You knew when you signed up to be a boxer, you were going to get some punches. You were going to get these hands. You as a debt buyer, debt collection agency, knowing that you are buying pools of bad debt, bad debts that were uncollectible. So because now they paid, so for every dollar of debt, Mimi, they're paying 10 cents to 20 cents. So they're buying, so let's say if it's a $1,000 debt, right? And they bought it, they probably paid $30 or maybe $50 for it. But then they're gonna call the consumer and want to collect that $1,000.
Ah, got it.
A
So
big
that's why
difference.
they are so willing to negotiate when you talk to these
Yes.
collecting agencies. Say it's $1,000, but hey, I got $300, and they accept it because they only paid $30 for it.
They're $30 to $50
Wow,
on it. But
that is a whole nother world of hustle.
they still made a
I'm about to
profit.
be a debt collector. Oh man. Hey, that's better than selling drugs. That's a pretty good flip.
All right. And so I gave you the sauce. Oh, charge offs. If you want the charge off sauce, let me know. I'll give it to you.
What's charge off sauce?
So, all right. You know what
You
a
want to
charge
tell
off
me.
is?
You brought it up. You want to tell me. What is it?
So, so have you ever seen, well, I'm not sure if you've ever seen it, but do you know when they say a debt is charged off, meaning it's uncollectible, so the financial company charges it off? A lot of people have a lot of charge offs on their credit. If you don't have it on your credit, 9 times out of 10 is you won't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a thing called charge off. So some people in your audience might have it, some might not. See, the reporting of a charge off on your consumer report is actually an inaccurate account. The IRS says that a charge off is gross or ordinary income. Income does not get reported on the consumer report, right? So if income does not get reported on the consumer report, where does a debt collector have the right to report an account as a charge off?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes back to definitions, and we comprehending the definitions of these words. So everybody on here that might have a charge off being reported to your credit is not a debt. It is income. Income does not get reported to your consumer report. So what you need to do is write the company, get your 1099-C, the cancellation of debt, form 1099-C, file it on your taxes, and then use that to get the charge off deleted.
Okay.
So for those that have the charge off, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those of you who don't, what I'm saying right now might not click because you don't have it.
Right.
And the last thing, Mimi, before I go.
I'm trying to think if I have any charge offs.
But so I want you to pull, when you get the time, pull your reports.
Okay.
So go, you can write them. You can write TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, or go to annualcreditreport.com. Once you go there, you just request a copy. It's free. So if anybody's telling y'all you got to pay for it, that's a lie. It is free. Annualcreditreport.com. Pull your credit. And guess what? You're going to see stuff on there, Mimi, like different spellings of your name. You're going to see multiple addresses. You're going to see all sorts of things on there. There needs to be one.
Oh yeah, I've seen some. They call me my guy for a long time. I don't know which credit report it is. They call me my guy. They have me. They spell my name wrong for a long time now.
Oh wow. So you know, like if you go to apply, so let's say now that you're a high net worth individual, right? And let's say you go to Amex to go get some platinum. Did you know that because of those things, the different spellings of your name, Amex could actually deny you because the underwriter can think that you're using different aliases to apply for credit?
Mm-hmm.
And because of something that is not your fault, you got denied for that platinum or that gold card from Amex. Or being that you're high net worth, you could even be eligible for the black card.
I don't want no more credit cards. I have one. I have one big one. You know what's crazy? Because Bank of America still denies me, which is so unfair. Like I've been with them for so many years, and you remember when credit card? I was like 18 when I first got their prepaid credit card, but we didn't have online apps back then. To pay it off, we didn't have that. So I would actually have to physically go into, the bank and pay it off, and I would always forget and be late. And so now they don't approve me at all, but I do have a credit card with Navy Federal. But every time I walk into Bank of America and they see all this money I got, and they be like, "Do you want a credit card?" I say, "You deny me. It's not my fault. Y'all keep denying me."
It simply means that there's so you might be in what is called check systems. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it before. So check systems is another consumer reporting agency. They hold banking information. So that account that you had at 18, I'm willing to bet right now without a shadow of a doubt that that account, the negative part of that account is being reported in check systems. And that's the reason why you're being denied. So
it's been paid off. It's been paid off. Like whatever I owed them, I paid them off. But because I was like late to paying them off.
It doesn't matter if it's paid off. The negative account is there. So you will need to go into check systems or pull the reports from check systems and get those negative items deleted from that consumer reporting agency. Once you do, you will see that now your lines of credit and your approval rate will increase dramatically.
Okay. Well, you got to do that.
Let's go.
Listen, okay, so tell us, everybody. So I know everybody who have sit in the class now have listened. What is it that you offer? Are you offering to teach people in debts? Are you offering to teach a class, or what is it that you're looking to show everyone today?
So that's a very good question. What I'm going to do is two things, right? I'm going to create something specifically for your audience so that they can test run what I have before anybody decides to join the university. I have a course, a 30-day course for $1,500. And because of you, I will give it to your audience for $97.
That's it. That's good. 97. Wait, that's like a 90% discount.
I want him to fact check what I'm saying, and I want him to get results. For me, it's not about the money. I want people to get results so they can see that they have the power. Like they really have the power, Mimi. And I want people to know that, yo, if you really knew the power that you have, you will not take the bullshit from none of these corporations. So $97, nice. I'm gonna give them my access to my 30-day course. I'm gonna give them my 24-hour deletion guide. This is so, you remember we spoke about the variations of your name, your addresses and phone numbers and stuff like that. The 24-hour guide, you will be able to clean that up in 28 to 48 hours.
That's a hell of a deal now. That is a very good deal. I mean, because I think I paid more for credit people to remove my stuff. So that is it's a really good deal.
So I'm giving them the 30-day course, the 24-hour deletion guide, right? I'm giving them those bundled together for $97. Individually, the 30-day course is $1,497. And the credit deletion guide is $247. So that's $1,600 or $1,700 worth of product I am giving to them for only $97.
That's such a good deal. I mean, nobody can even take an online college course for that much.
So all they have to do.
Yeah, how can they get to you?
So all they have to do is text the word Mimi. So once they text the word MIMI to 917-810-3329, right? 917-810-3329. So once they text the word Mimi to 917-810-3329, they will be able to get that package. So I'm going to call it the Mimi Special.
The Mimi Special, $97. Do you have bad credit? Do you want to remove your credit? Do you want to have a better life for your baby? If so, text Mimi to 917-810-3329. That's a hell of a deal. That's definitely a hell of a deal. Even if you guys aren't interested in learning or getting hired, getting that stuff removed off that he was talking about, that's a hell of a deal. Yep. What about your social media platform?
Yes, I'm going to give it to them right now. I'm going to give it to them right now.
What No, don't come up here biting shit.
So 917-810-3329. 10. All right. So on Instagram, they can find me at the Credit Hero. So it's at VTHE_credit.
Can you type it in this thing?
Yeah, I hope they could see it. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I have it up. Type whatever.
Oh, okay, perfect. So that's the IG. I hope they can see it. And then text Mimi to 917.
Wait, what are we looking at? I only see the legal console law.
Oh, I thought are you able to see the chat box?
I can see the Legal Information Institute.
Can you see? Let me stop screen share. Are you able to see the chat box?
No. Where's the chat box? Oh, I can pull the chat box up, right? Let's see.
I think we can.
Oh, boom, chat box. Oh, it's to the side though.
Let's see.
Go to a blank screen and type it in.
All right.
But if not, you guys, I'm gonna tag everything in the information in the YouTube video below. I'm gonna link you to all of his stuff. I'm gonna link his Instagram, but make sure you guys do text if you guys are interested. He got a lot of gems here. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't know that could have saved us and got us further in life. So make sure you guys do text Mimi to 917-810-3329.
Yep, it's called the Mimi Credit Special. I made this just for you.
The Mimi Credit Special. Ooh, I learned a lot today, though. Well, thank you so much for sharing your gem. Okay, it's right there. Text Mimi right there. I see it below, and I'm gonna tag you. I'm gonna put his information. Do you have a YouTube channel of your own?
Yes, Daraine Delevante. So YouTube.
Daraine. Yeah, nice name, Daraine Delevante. Your mama did good. My mihatilam.
You're gonna make some oxtails tonight, Mimi?
No, I'm gonna go to the movies tonight. I'm not cooking tonight.
Ooh, what movie you gonna see?
So this new scary movie out called Megan.
I saw it. I don't want to watch it. It looks too weird for me. Megan looked like she's about to mess some people up, man.
Well, I hope that she's good because we have scary movie fans in the house. So she got to, if she's gonna be a doll killing people, she got to match up to Chucky. So we'll see.
Megan
Chucky
versus Chucky.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh. Well, is anything else that you want to tell everybody?
Just wanted to let them know that they can find me on Instagram, the Credit Hero, _credit_hero. It will be tagged in the description. I'll also send you over some links, Mimi, to get access to the Mimi Credit Special so that you can put it in the description, and they can just text the word Mimi, MIMI, to 917-810-3329 for the Mimi Credit Special. Like, it's a new year. It's a new year. There's with the information we have now, there's absolutely no reason why anyone should be suffering from bad credit. There's too much information out here.
One more question. So when they text Mimi to that number, right? Is that a number they can also contact you? Like, say for instance, and then they get the 30-day they get the information, the package and stuff. What if they have questions? How can they contact you if they have questions to walk them through?
That's a very good question. I'm going to give my email as well, support@consumerlawsecrets.com. Also, they can actually text that number too, but I want to give them the email just as a backup. The phone number works, but I want you guys to have direct access. So the email is support@consumerlawsecrets.com. So the text number is there, the 917-810-3329. You can find me on YouTube. And also when the episode drops, I'll also be monitoring the comments as well. So I actually answer all my comments too in
Okay.
any videos that I'm in. So if they're having issues and they put it in the comments, if I'm not there, a team member will be there. But also the email address is here, support@consumerlawsecrets.com. You can find me on Instagram. Instagram is the fastest way to get to me. Like
Okay.
if anything fails, Instagram is the fastest way. And yes, people, even though I have automations and VAs, I still respond to all my inboxes because I monitor them.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, guys, make sure you text Mimi to 917-810-3329 right now. Let me kick on myself. This is your girl, lovely Mimi. I learned so much today. I wish I would have knew before about removing. I want to opt out my car. We learned a lot of information, and this was only in a short amount of time. So I can only imagine what you guys are going to learn in the package. If you're looking to help yourself, help your friends, help your family for a better life, it's a dog eat dog world out here. So if you don't know something, you're gonna lose it. You always want upper hand, take advantage of this situation right now for only $97. Like, listen, don't even think stuff is a scam. I always tell y'all, if you think stuff is a scam, you're gonna miss out on a lot of things in life. You're gonna miss out on a lot of opportunities. Trust me, he's not trying to get you for your $97 because you spend that on a dinner. You eat that, yep. You eat it, and then you poop it out. You shit it out, and you got nothing to show for. But at least with this, you're going to learn a lot of stuff from your credit. You can help your friends and your family. So I hope that you guys do take this opportunity to text and to learn and to grow yourself this year. Get you a house, get you a car, get you whatever it is that you want to finance. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on here today. And love you guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you.